Blumhouse synonymous with horror.
Yes.
I love it. And how does that feel for you to have built this empire of horror?
It feels great. Very exciting. It's an amazing opportunity. It's an incredible platform we have to shine, use our power to bring new voices out into the world, bring new stories out into the world. I love horror, so it's very great. It's very satisfying to me. I feel very lucky. I'm very grateful.
Now, as someone who is obviously a horror expert, are there times where you're ever surprised anymore, or you're oh, I see everything coming from a mile away now?
By a scare?
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Has there been anything in recent memory that you're oh,
yeah, there were a few things in that movie, Talk to Me. There were a few things in Smile. Not movies that we do, I know, obviously, but movies that we haven't done. There were a few things. Every now and then there's something that gets a little bit. It's hard to scare me.
I'm sure. Now, you have so many incredible films in this slate dropping this year. You just had The Exorcist, you had Totally Killer, you got Five Nights at Freddy's.
Megan,
don't forget. Of course. I was going to say, you dressed as Megan last year for Halloween,
yes,
right? So who are you doing this year?
I haven't decided yet. It's really, there's a lot of internal debate. We haven't decided yet.
I really love the Totally Killer mask. I feel like that would be such a good one.
That would be good.
But I'm waiting to see what you're going to be this year.
Nice.
But I was going to say, so what can you tell us about the upcoming slate that you have that's wrapping things up the rest of this year?
We have Five Nights at Freddy's. That's our last movie of the year, which I'm very excited about. And then next, at the top of the year, we have a movie called Night Swim, which I did with James Wan, who was also my partner on Megan. And Night Swim is going to make us feel about swimming pools the way we felt about the ocean after Jaws, I hope. And I have a great movie called Imaginary, which is we'd made with Jeff Wadlow, who's the guy who did Truth or Dare with us a long time ago. And that's a very scary movie about an imaginary friend who's not so nice. And another great movie coming up called Speak No Evil later next year, which is a super creepy movie with James McAvoy. So we have a great slate next year.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I gotta say, we're big Shark Tank fans, and so I'm so excited that you're gonna be on Shark Tank this season.
Oh, good.
So what was that experience like?
It was so fun. I love Shark Tank too, and I was really wanted to be on it. I've been begging to be on the show for years. They finally said yes, and it was really fun. And the sharks were really nice. We did actually 2 shows with them. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Now, was there anything that you really took away when it comes to the entrepreneurial spirit from the sharks?
Anything that I learned? Yes, actually, a lot of stuff I learned. They're working on such a compressed time. They're hearing a 5-minute pitch and then they have to decide. So seeing how they make the decisions, how they look at the valuations, the questions that they ask, I learned a lot on the show.
Oh, that's awesome. We're so excited for it.
Good. Oh, good.
And just to wrap things up, I'd love to hear how you feel horror has evolved over the years. I mean, you've been in this industry for so long, and I feel like right now is just such an exciting time where all this original IP is blowing up. People aren't going to see rom-coms in theater anymore, but they're going to see these horror movies that they may know, they may not know. How does that feel, or how do you think that's evolved?
I think horror it gets more realistic as time goes by. I think people work harder and harder to make it seem like it could really happen to anybody, and that makes it scarier. I think more directors than ever before are open to horror because it's one of the few genres that people are still going to the theater to watch. So it's sort of gotten out of the ghetto. It's become more mainstream. I actually think that's kind of good. People are using it to experiment, to tell different stories. So I think all that stuff is good. It keeps it fresh and new. And there are a gazillion new horror ideas out there that haven't been told yet.
Yes, absolutely.
Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!